What's going on, everybody that's following the content here on our Twitter handle? Clearly, we're doing video for a specific reason. If you haven't been checking out our handle lately or at all today, we are finally showing you, or I guess not we, Tad is fulfilling his fantasy punishment for coming in last in his fantasy football league last year. So yeah, Tad, why don't you just tell the good people where you are right now?
Yeah, so I am at a Denny's about 10 minutes away from my apartment because there was a Denny's closer, actually, but they're not open 24 hours. This is the closest one that is. And the reason for that is the punishment is I have to stay at this Denny's for 24 hours straight. But if I eat a pancake, it takes 1 hour off my time. So I am currently aiming, I got here around 11 o'clock in the morning, which was a little later than I was aiming for. And I'm 4 pancakes in, so probably after this interview, the second stack is coming, and then I want to get to 12, so I want to get out of here around 11 o'clock. And then on top of that, actually, I have an extra 30 minutes because I realized about halfway through the first stack, I forgot to refill my cat's water bottle or a water bowl. So I had to go back home, and my friends were like, well, no, you have to time it, and we'll just add that on. So that was a nice little half-hour detour. So really, hopefully the goal is I get out of here at 11:30.
11:30 or at least before midnight. I think that should be the overall goal, right?
Yes.
To get out of here before midnight.
Yes, very much so. So it's actually not too bad because luckily this Denny's has Wi-Fi, which was not pre-planned. That was a very, very lucky happenstance. So mostly it's just been doing classwork and playing chess with friends online and stuff. So it's not too bad yet, but I think around 5 or 6 o'clock, it's really going to start not being great.
All right. So, yeah, I think overall goal, hopefully you'll get out of here before midnight. We'll see how that all plays out. But I guess first and foremost, I mean, obviously you came in last in your fantasy league. That's why you're here. But it's how did you how did that happen? Did you just draft bad? Did you make too many trades? Did you make an accidental move here or there? I mean, just how did this eventually happen where you ended up in last place? Give us a little bit of the rundown of how the league season went for you.
No, so you hit the nail on the head. My friends are very excited that I finally came in last because they're hoping this kind of stops my impulsive trading. I'm known as the trade guy in my league. I've been in the league for I think about 3 or 4 years now, and I do a minimum of 6 or 7 trades a season. And it drives my friends just absolutely bonkers. Oh, yeah, no, I never end up with the same roster I draft. I always just completely overhaul it. I always tinker with my roster. So they're finally, maybe this is as I was eating the stack, one of my friends was like, now remember this feeling when you send the next impulsive trade next season. So what really, really screwed me was I can't remember who I gave up for him, but I gave up a lot of my good players for Lamar Jackson because I really needed a quarterback. Okay. And obviously I was like, oh, Lamar Jackson, he's going to be, MVP level he was, 2 seasons ago. This is going to be great. No, he was hugely inconsistent. So then it was terrible because, I'd start him. He had 13 points and I'd be like, okay, well, I'm going to bench him next season or next week. That next week he goes off on my bench for 25 points. So it was just constantly flip-flopping. So I could never get the quarterback situation figured out. My wide receivers, I went big on Alshon Jeffrey. I really, really thought that, I really thought he was going to get healthy. And since he was the only good receiver on that team, that he would, get fed the ball a lot. That never panned out. And the big one that still haunts me is I was first on the waiver wire because I was the last on the draft. I was the last pick of the draft. So I had first waiver wire before the season started.
Sure.
And I can't remember who I chose, but I was choosing between 2 running backs. I went with the other one. Guy who was second on the waiver wire got James Robinson.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I could have gotten James
tough.
Robinson off the waiver wire to start the season.
To be honest with you, a lot of people could have had James Robinson. So it's that's a little bit unpredictable as far as how good of a season that he had, being an undrafted rookie, obviously. And then it's the Jaguars cutting Leonard Fournette and all that stuff. It was just, it was a lot to sort of process. So, yeah, you missed the boat on James Robinson, but like I said, you're not the only one. So don't feel too bad about that one. But yeah, trading for Lamar Jackson, that one hurt. That one hurt, I think.
Yeah, that one hurt. And it was funny, actually, because the guy who was second to last put in our group meet, he was like, man, I'm glad Darren Waller went off in that last game. And it reminded me that the last game of the season, we were playing for last place. Darren Waller went off for 40 points. And that's what tanked me to go to last place. So I have a mortal enemy now. So that's nice.
Your mortal enemy as in your league mate, or a mortal enemy as in Darren Waller?
Yes.
All right, good to know. Good to know. Okay, well, obviously you kind of laid it out for us. You're going to be there for at least 12 hours. You're hoping you're going to eat that many pancakes. So I mean, let's just ask you this question: are you a pancake guy? Like, I mean, is this something that you enjoy eating every so often? Like, or are you a
No.
waffles guy? Or are you not even a breakfast guy? Like, I mean, what are your thoughts about like just eating to sort of shave off hours?
No, I'm not like a bread guy. Like I really don't like heavy wheaty food. So I don't like waffles. I don't like pancakes. Whenever I go to brunch, it's usually like scrambled eggs, hash browns, turkey, bacon, stuff like that. Like that's the kind of breakfast food I like. So no, this was worst case scenario for me with the pancakes, especially because really underestimated how big they'd be here. That was a big surprise with that first stack. So it's gonna be a battle for sure.
Yeah. So good luck with that. I mean, that should be a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
appreciate it.
Eating a
I'm
bunch of
desperately gonna
carbs
need
that you're
that.
not
Yeah.
a big carb guy. So I mean, we'll see how that all plays out for you. But yeah, I think if you space it out enough, I think, like you said, if you ate four already and you space it out enough, then that's three stacks of four. So there's your 12 right there. So I think you should
Yeah.
be okay to be done by like we sort of talked about before midnight, hopefully. Um, but yeah, I mean, I guess just like, do you have a plan to eat more than 12? Like, I mean, to get out of here earlier, or is it like my body can only handle so many pancakes and it's like I'm gonna do the 12 and end it there?
So I told my friends this morning when I got here that 12 is the expectation, 15 is the goal. So I would
Ooh.
ideally like to do like 15 so I could get out of here at like, 9 or 8 or whatever that is. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. Like I'm about 2 hours removed from the first stack and like I'm kind of hungry again, like a little bit. But like I think that like you said, that third four stack is gonna be my Everest. So maybe if I'm feeling it after that, but I think after that I'm probably just gonna bite the bullet and just keep on drinking coffee. As you can see with my hands, I'm about two cups of coffee in already, so it's lovely. So cheers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can
so it's
see the
great.
jitteriness. It's like, yeah, surprising. And so yeah, it's just gonna get,
It's great.
oh man, it's gonna get more prevalent as the day goes on. Well, Tad, sorry I can't be there with you, or maybe I'm not sorry. I don't
I know. Yeah,
know.
yeah, it's great.
um,
Don't worry. I think my friends may be joining me for dinner. They want to make sure they share my suffering for a little bit. So
they
that
want to
that'll
make sure
be
that you're
lovely. So
owning up to the
yeah, we'll
punishment.
we'll
Want to
see
make
if
sure that you're actually here.
we'll see if they follow through on that. But yes, they all said they wanted to have dinner with me whenever we decided to do this. So we'll see.
Okay, okay. Your friends, especially with you coming in last place, I'd like to think that they'll make an effort to show up. Maybe not even just to eat dinner, but just to show up for like a little bit. I know if I was in a league and I had to do this punishment, my friends will definitely make it a part of their schedule to like, oh yeah, we're gonna go and see him.
Yeah, no, exactly. I
Maybe
would be shocked
humiliate
if
him a
at least
little
one of
bit.
them
We'll
didn't
see.
show up. Yeah. No,
Exactly.
exactly. So,
Exactly.
and by the way, the wonderful irony of this entire thing is I'm the league SACO commissioner. I'm in charge of organizing everyone's punishment ideas, how we vote on it, the rules for everything. So it's just the SACO now has the SACO. So, and yes, we are going to get a trophy made eventually. We've been saying it for years, but eventually it's going to happen.
It will happen. It will happen. Awesome, buddy. Well, I will check in with you a little bit later today as well. But yeah, try and keep your sanity there. And yeah, for all of you following along, we will sure to have some more content for you. Like I said, if Tad's friends show up, we'll try and get that on the Twitter timeline as well. But yeah, we appreciate everybody tuning in. And yeah, Tad, best of luck rest of the way.
Keep me in your thoughts, everybody.